Hello Boundless citizens, Boundmore here after another holiday break and back to Fortnightly. Although I must say I found it difficult to find my usual enthusiasm for video making. First of all, I must mention the most disappointing event, the permanent ban of host. I don't want to dive into details that I don't know, and I won't talk about the ones I'm privy to. All I want to say is that, well, Boundless has no future. A beautiful future portal network is off, even though the buildings are still there, waiting for the beacon fuel to burn out. The excellent sovereign farms and mining and hunting grounds went up in flames. What's one got to do when there is no future, other than focus on the present? Even if it's a big downer for me personally, and I struggle to find reason to play, other than log in to get daily rewards. I try to see what's in front of me, but I don't find motivation to engage beyond those daily routines that feel more like a momentum slowly fizzling out. Mrs. Star reached out asking about my well-being, as she noticed my below-par activity in-game. Well, yeah, I don't feel too excited about Boundless at the moment, but otherwise I'm fine. Big thanks for checking on me though. Mrs. Star, you are, well, a star. Hehe. Anyways, let's try to move from the future to the present. We got this announcement preparing us for the coming of a new forum software. It's not exactly a kind of change we all hoped for after Boundless changed hands. However, this is the clearest sign of monumental preparing ground for actual work on the game that we have ever had. Probably the closest we've got to actual Boundless news in quite a while. I for one decided to see it as a big positive after almost 2-year-long transfer of ownership, which at this stage seemed to be like a mythical creature of which everyone talks, but no one has ever seen. I will be sad to say goodbye to the familiar look of the old forum. This is what always made me see continuity between my first steps in early access and the Boundless we play today. Even simple things like seeing very old topics or profiles of players who don't play anymore but were a mainstay of the very early years of game development. And all the badges I collected, and the stats and links, it's all like a big personal diary. Luckily, this will all remain in place and we'll be able to visit these ancient pages, like paintings of our forebears on walls of forgotten caves. But our daily forum activities will take place in a new environment, about what I am as curious as I am anxious. But back to here and now. We have another announcement, this one about Ultima's event scheduled for July of all time. I'm sure there are players who got excited about it. Red canes are hard to get and fixing their drop rate must be on top of priority list for many. Adding extra weeks of snow meteors in a year seems like a workaround, a temporary fix. I would prefer Ultimas to happen once a year and where it really belongs, in December. Just make it last 4 weeks then, instead of 2. Still, without the drop rate of red canes changed, this workaround means only one thing. You want more of them red canes? Suffer 4 weeks instead of 2. Hehe. Let's forget the weird Ultimas for now though, as we have Glimbo racing happening as we speak. Perfect time for it too. I always repeat one thing about Boundless event calendar. The Glimbo time belongs in the summer, as we have plenty to do between September and February, when birthday, spooky, Ultimas and Lost Track events are scheduled. It's the time between March and August that doesn't have any events, It was always beyond my understanding why would Glimbo event be shoved in at the turn of the year, and also overlapping with Urtmas, making it 5 events in space of 5 months, leaving us without special events for 7 months between Lovestruck and Boundless birthday. Anyways, Glimbo is here now, as I always wanted, so at least one thing went my way in last week's. And now to the best bit of news for me, the coming back of Trickyy. For many of you, this is one of several comebacks in recent months, and I mentioned some of the returnee players in previous episodes, but this one is special to me, as I have known Trickyy in Boundless for a long time now. She built this beautiful place called Melissa Majoria on Aria, and we found common language if it comes to building style. Enough to create our own guild called Trickyy, which is an acronym standing for the Rural Eco Elite. We both enjoyed building along natural features and preserving as much of it as possible while expanding our settlements. That led to a shared project of reviving the first ever capital of Lucian, Ashenvale, which was abandoned and half regained after its creator, Lynx, stopped playing. We saved some original parts, plotted in between them and started building it back up, while keeping it as a planetary hub for Ultima Network. Those were the days. By the way, I kept the guild name and you can still see Trickyy name next to my 2 names in game. As you may have guessed, Trickyy stopped playing at some stage and took a long break from Boundless. It wouldn't be a comeback news if she didn't, hehe. Anyways, there she is, rebuilding Melissa Majoria, this time on Xafrand. You can get there using Dragon Hop, jumping to Xafrand Planetary, and then using a portal with a sign saying Trickyy.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
The place is called New Melissa Majoria, and I am so excited to see it growing in the next weeks and months. What better to cure my present boundless depression than a comeback of an old friend?
What are you doing here?
So, time to wrap this one up. Thank you very much for watching and following my fortnightly musings, and I shall see you in the next one. As always, remember to stay boundless.